Jack grew up in the shadow of a drought-ridden field and an empty barn. Years ago, his father took a map to a mythical land of gold and vanished into the rain, leaving the family to survive on the memory of a plan that never worked. Poverty, for Jack, was a generational inheritance. When the situation turned desperate, Jack followed his father's lead. He traded their last cow for 5 beans, gambling the family's final productive asset on the hope of a magical shortcut. He climbed the stalk not to build something, but to find a way out of working for it. Inside the mansion above the clouds, Jack found exactly what he was looking for. While the giant slept, Jack crept across the floor and hauled away a heavy sack of gold. It was the perfect extraction, wealth acquired in a single afternoon without a drop of sweat.
Stolen wealth provides a temporary pause on poverty, but it fails to address the underlying structure of a person's life. Because the money is finite, the taker is trapped in a cycle of repeated, desperate thefts just to maintain the status quo. As the gold ran out, the fear of hunger returned. Despite his mother's warnings, Jack chose to climb again. The memory of how easy the first theft felt overrode the growing danger of the climb. This time, he stole the chicken that laid golden eggs. But the environment had shifted. The giant was now alert, sniffing for intruders and guarding his property. To keep his lifestyle, Jack had to take on exponential risks, betting his life against a giant who was becoming aware of the theft. The final theft, a magic harp, was driven by pure greed. It was a bridge too far. The harp screamed, the giant woke, and suddenly Jack was being hunted down the hallways, footsteps shaking the very stone of the mansion, as the system finally collapsed into a lethal chase. Shortcuts demand higher stakes with every attempt. Eventually, the taker is forced to gamble their life for diminishing returns, until the pursuit of unearned wealth inevitably results in a crisis. Jack reached the bottom of the beanstalk and grabbed an axe. He was ready to kill to protect his stolen prizes, choosing a permanent, violent solution to ensure the giant could never take back what Jack had just stolen. His mother stepped in, blocking his path. She broke the momentum of the violence, ordering Jack to drop the axe and forbidding him from harming the giant. As the giant climbed down and saw the axe lying in the dirt, the chase ended. The immediate threat was gone. He reached the ground and simply held out his hands, massive, calloused, and scarred from decades of physical toil. The giant is a producer. His ability to create value makes his wealth indestructible. Jack was a consumer who only knew how to take what was already there, leaving him with nothing once the objects were gone. Jack looked at the giant's hands and recognized the toll of a life's work. The realization was immediate. He walked forward and voluntarily returned the chicken, choosing to respect the labor that created it. The giant saw this change in Jack. He didn't offer a handout or more gold. Instead, he gave the boy a pouch of seeds. He provided Jack with potential value, the same starting point the giant had used years ago. Jack replaced the thrill of the theft with the discipline of the field. Through heavy rain and sun, he patiently worked the earth, pressing the seeds into the soil and waiting for the slow process of growth to begin. After weeks of labor, a single green sprout appeared. It was small, but it was the first thing Jack had ever truly owned. As the shadow of the giant hawk passed overhead, Jack finally had his own source of wealth, one that was rooted in his own effort. Lasting prosperity isn't found in a windfall from the sky. It is systematically built on the ground, through the security and dignity